Right folks, what we're going to try and do is fix this tie, and basically it's from one of my grandchildren. It lasted about 10 minutes, and as you can see, if we look around about here, you can see that it's sheared off, and here is the little nobule what's left, and this is the wheel what will attach. And you can see it's slightly knurled, the thread, so when it's on it shouldn't come out. Made it very difficult to remove this. The first thing we have to do is try and get a flat surface here for bonding and a flat surface on the other end for bonding, and then we've got to try and make it so it will key together and not fracture again. And we're going to be using a UniBond plastic. It's a bit like epoxy resin, 2 mixes together. It's usually quite strong, so we're going to try that. I wouldn't recommend super glue because super glue is too brittle, and the trouble is with super glue is when it comes under stress, especially stress like this, it will just snap again. So we're going to try and do a repair on this and see what happens, and I'll do it in stages. So this is going to be the baby what I'm going to use to flatten the actual surface. Now the thing is about this plastic, if you try to sand it too vigorously, it will melt and burn a little bit. And what we've got to try and do, we've got to try and give it a rough surface for the actual bonding. So that means we have to clean the shine off this side, and in a minute I will take the shine away from this area so we can create a really good bond here to stop it breaking again, because you can see on the other side there's not a lot of support really, and there is actually a weakness line there where this one's sheared off on, because when it was moulded they've actually created a weakness line. So we'll have to see now if we can just get another hole in here slightly bigger, well I won't say bigger but slightly deeper, and then it'll give it something else to key onto. Okay, back in a minute. Right, we're back again. Now, another good way to line up your tool is with a drill. Now, you don't want the glue to stick to your drill, otherwise you'll be in a right mess. So what you need to do is you need to coat it with a little bit of sort of like grease, and then you'll be pushing it through like so. Let the grease go on the inside, put a little bit more around, then try it in the hole and see how it fits. And that way you know you're going to get an accurate fitting. So the next thing we have to do now is we have to mix a bit of glue up, a bit of epoxy resin, and basically it's 2 parts, and you'll have the hardener and you'll have the actual glue. So when I've mixed it I will get back to you. Right, so we've mixed our glue, and then we can lift up and we can drop. We don't have to put too much in because we don't want it to go through the actual shaft. And then what we'll do then is we drop that down, and it should just be married onto it. The next thing now is to build up a weld around what we've just done, because if you don't, all it'll do is it'll come apart again. You got to do it very gently, and you've got to make sure that you cover all the important areas. Remember, this process is very important that you get a really good weld, because later on, if you wanted to hide all this, you could use black nail polish or anything like that. Bit of matte lacquer. But we want to make sure you can see how we're going round. We're actually filling in now the area what we filed out, because the more this has got to grip onto, the better it will stay. Now we've done that little bit, then there's a little bit at the back to reinforce, just if you're making a weld on a car, you need to reinforce, because what they've done is they put angles instead of rounding the corners where it joins on, and this has made it weak. I should imagine when I've done all this side will be so strong that the only thing left of it when it's finally destroyed by the grandchildren. But we will see, won't we? So I think I've covered all the bases on that one. It's looking, because you don't want it to look absolutely silly, because you know what kids are like, something different and they go, oh my god, you've destroyed my toy now as a lump, it has a baby. But no, so we have to try and make it look as normal as possible, because they do notice these things. And I found out through experience that sometimes the moaning and the groaning, you have to make sure that they don't see what you've done is making it bad. So once we've done that, as you can see now, we've got the drilling as holding it into position. And when it's slightly set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it. Oops. Do you ever find that? Is when you're working, something always drops on the floor and you look down, oh my god, there's that thing I lost last year. Well anyhow, I'll be back with you in maybe 5-10 minutes and we'll see how we're doing when it's set. Now, when you touch it, it feels a little bit soft because it's, you know, takes time. But if you want to speed along, you can use the old hairdryer. But don't do it too hot because you could burn the plastic. The beauty of the hairdryer is it makes it cure faster, and if you want to know what we were using at this time, we were using UniBond Rapid Power Epoxy. It's quite good stuff, but we're going to have to leave this for a while now so it hardens up, and I'll get back to you later. Well, I guess folks, it's time to activate this annoying toy. Well, test run over, seems to be working fine.